when the rooster crows, or in the morning. So Jesus gives us the 4 night watches here. And the Romans and the Greeks, some believed that there were 6 night watches, but they finally decided on 4 night watches. The first night watch is between the hour of 6 and 9. We call it the first watch. And that's what verse 35 says. You don't know when he cometh at evening, or the first watch. The second watch, he says there, the Bible calls it midnight. It's between the hour of 9 and 12, or the second watch of the night. The third watch is an interesting time. The Bible calls it when the rooster crows. It's the time 12 till 03 a.m. What's interesting is that the rooster crows in this time, I personally believe, because of all the spiritual things that's going on. And it's the darkest hour of the night, 12 to 3. And I'll read you some interesting things that I found in this in a moment. The time in the Greek, what it's called, when the rooster crows, it's called the time when the bestial or artificial addresses is given, or the noises. So we'll come back to the third watch in a minute. But then he says, or in the morning, verse 35. So the fourth watch in the time of 03 to 06. The Bible also calls it the dawn, or the daybreak, or the morning. So the morning really starts at 0300. This morning watch, called the fourth watch, in the Greek is called proe, is the name for the fourth watch in the Greek, proe. And pro there, P-R-O, means before, or it's the word for, that is also used for prophetio, prophecy. So it really is pointing towards to be the prophetic hour of the day. Is the time 03 to 06, which we call the fourth watch, or we call it the morning. Another place I wanted to show you that's really interesting is we're in the book of Mark. If you will go back to the 6th chapter with me. We're talking about the 4 watches, and that most godly dreams take place in the 4th watch. Not always, but most. And you know what it's like? You had that dream and you wake up. You've got all those details. Don't wait till the morning to write it down. Because if you do, it might happen what happened to Nebuchadnezzar the first time. He forgot it. And what's interesting is, he forgot it, but it was still in him. Because when Daniel saw the dream in a vision, and he told Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar went, yeah, that's right. Shows you also how the human memory works. It was in him, but it was not mirrored into his memory. When he was told it went mirrored into his memory. Oh yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So it's interesting. The second time Nebuchadnezzar dreamt, he didn't forget it. So even Nebuchadnezzar learned something. So here in in Mark chapter 6 and verse 48, Mark 6:48, and when he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them, and about the 4th watch of the night, which is the hour 03 to 06, he cometh unto them walking on the waters. And you would have bypassed them. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they thought it was a spirit, and cried out, for they all saw him and were troubled. And immediately he talked to them, and he said to them, be of good cheer. And he went up into the ship, verse 52, for they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their hearts were hardened. Very interesting way. It could be a prophetic picture of the sea being the spirit realm, you and I dreaming, and Jesus walking on the spirit realm to us, revealing things to us in the fourth watch. And we sometimes then say it's the devil or it's the spirit because we don't understand that it's actually God. A few things about the fourth watch, this last watch, is that it was the time when Israel was released from Egypt. They were released between the hour 03 to 06. It's also the time in which the dew fell and the manna. And manna, and it's interesting because dew fell first. Exodus 16. If you go there with me, Exodus 16. And I've noticed that if it's possible, because God is full of grace and mercy, if it's possible to get up during this time, it's like there's a special blessing in the fourth watch. We don't want to, put out a law that if you don't pray between 3 and 6, God's not going to answer, because that's not true. But if it's possible, I've noticed, it's almost like you meet in a more intense way with the Lord in this time. So, Exodus 16 and verse 13, and it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that was lay went up, behold, the face of the wilderness, there lay a small white thing, and it was the manna. But first the dew. So if you can imagine, you and I are sleeping, the dew of the Lord falls, we dream, we receive refreshing from the Lord, the dew. And then the manna is revealed. His word then is also revealed. Fresh word for this time in the fourth watch. Jesus prayed in the fourth watch. You know the psalm, we won't read it, Psalm 30 verse 5. Although weeping endures for the night, joy comes in the morning. So the fourth watch is a time of renewed joy. Also, it's a time of renewed mercy. Lamentations 3 verse 23. His mercy is new every morning. Beautiful is the fact that Jesus is the star. Revelation calls him the star of the fourth watch because he's called the morning star. So, interesting that the resurrection took place in the fourth watch. So it's the time in which the Lord speaks to us. Quickly, a few symbolisms. What could certain things mean in dreams? And then we're going to interpret together two or three people here your dreams. If you were wondering, what does it mean? We'll do it together. Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Quickly, a few symbols.
Yeah.
Horses. Now, it doesn't mean, I'm just giving you some ideas. It doesn't mean that these things always mean this, but it seems as though a lot of people are dreaming this stuff. Horses usually represents power, some form of power. Also, the color, the context will let you know whether it's good or bad. Jesus is coming back on a? Yeah. Doors. Jesus said, I'm the door. Usually, it has to do with decisions that must be made. Flying in the dream world will usually represent high spiritual activity or fast changes are coming. We spent 5 hours flying last night from Los Angeles to here. But I was also still thankful that we didn't have to do it with a horse and a cart. Flying, fast changes, yeah. Bathroom dreams. A lot of people dream that they're showering or they're going to the bathroom. And they're kind of funny dreams in a sense. And a lot of people have them. And usually it means there's some area that needs to be cleansed. Or needs to be, God wants to purify, cleanse some area of their lives. A lot of people dream that they're children again. And that usually means that their souls got stuck in some experience in the past. And God is saying, go back there. Because this thing hasn't been closed.